My name is Kayla Domries.
Hi everyone, my name is Tia.
Hi, my name is Tristan Stalker.
Hi, my name is Yukari Cabrera.
Hello, my name is Lucas Mazer, and this is our presentation on the future of Brazil Processing Company, known for its meat production that was founded in Brazil and holds a large presence both domestically and internationally. In Brazil, it is the third largest exporter, as well as the second largest employer with over 110,000 employees. Internationally, Brazil Foods primarily exports its products, with them being present in over 140 different countries. Additionally, they were once the world's largest exporter of poultry, in addition to being the second largest exporter of meats overall. Though a substantial corporation nowadays, Brazil Foods is still relatively new, being the product of a merger between two of Brazil's largest food producers, Perdigão and Sadia. While once fierce competitors, wrong way currency hedges would result in financial problems for Sadia that resulted in them ultimately being purchased by Perdigão in 2009. Soon after, a merger between the two companies would be announced and finalized, but interference from Brazil's antitrust authority, the Administrative Council for Economic Defense, would put the company into merger purgatory, forcing them to operate separately but together and putting a strain on operations in the domestic market. However, 2 years later, in 2011, the administration would finally approve the merger at the expense of some company assets and sales of certain Perdigão brand products. With the company finally whole, it was soon time for them to start looking to the future. Shortly after the final ruling from the Administrative Council for Economic Defense, Brazil Foods CEO Jose Antonio do Prado Fé would announce to the company that in the next 5 years, he planned to double the company's sales. Though a bold claim, it was not made without prior thought. In order to accomplish this, Fay established that what the company would need in order for this goal to succeed. The company would need to first develop and maintain its presence in both domestic and international markets while utilizing effective human resources to ensure the newly combined network of employees wouldn't crumble. Ultimately, after a successful merger, what are the next steps that await the company and how will they reach their goal?
The first question we are addressing is, as a CEO of Brazil Foods, how would you prioritize rationalizing the domestic business, establishing new exports, and developing a single Brazilian foods culture? So what I would consider a high priority is rationalizing the domestic business. And why I think this is because there are so many ways that you can improve a business, and it feels like it's more attainable than the other two options. So we can do strategic goals to help improve the business, and there's always opportunities to reduce extra costs. For example, using different packaging because it's cheaper. We can also encourage to maximize our profits, and we also need to stay competitive with other people and stay on trend. What I would consider a medium priority is establishing a new export market. There are always ways to rationalize a business, while establishing a new export market can potentially make you more money in the long run, but without a solid foundation, it will never be as efficient and successful. So to find this new market, I would research eating habits in many locations, and some places have dietary restrictions that you need to consider. I would also analyze the funds and resources that Brazil Foods has available. Then I would establish the goods that would be exported. I was thinking that they could do a variety of processed and frozen foods since they're cheap, and so that more people would have access to them. And I believe North America would be a good candidate to do business in because they have a diverse population and there's multiple types of people, so they have different tastes. In addition, there are more opportunities for growth due to this large population, and processed and frozen foods are popularized in the United States because they're convenient and they're cheap. So this would help a lot of families in need. And I feel like there's just a demand of frozen foods in the West compared to some other places that might not have access to freezers or fridges. And it seems like this would be a success because 19% of the exports that are from Brazil Foods are in Europe, which is also in the West. And I would export goods to a wholesaler so that products can be purchased in bulk, like somewhere like Costco. And a second option could be to export it to distributors so that the consumers can purchase the quantities that they want themselves, and there will be more people that are exposed to the products. What I would consider a low priority is developing a single Brazil foods culture. I think it's difficult to start a trend without a large following, and Brazil already has a norm of eating a large meal midday and having little meals or snacks before and after, such as sausages. To create a trend, we would have to consider the location and the population that would be doing this, and then we would have to consider what kind of dietary restrictions they may have. We'd also have to consider where would we be sharing this, like will it be on newspapers, marketing, like advertisements.
The second question that we're addressing is, what other company might Brazil Foods best use as a role model of what it should aim to be? When figuring out which company to use as a role model, it's best to determine where Brazil Foods sees itself. Brazil Foods wants to expand into the global footprint. Unlike their competitor JBS, which grew mainly through acquisitions, Brazil Foods wants to expand its global footprint through the company's existing assets, business model, brands, and the company's expertise. Brazil Foods already has a successful operational and logistical side, and has continued to grow their company domestically. However, when expanding into the global market, they should look at what the leading company is doing to achieve that market space. Tyson Foods is the global leader in meat products. They have 115,000 employees, and they have sustained their growth through organically instead of through acquisitions. Tyson Foods is a United States company that in 2010 ranked 93rd on the Fortune 500 list. They conducted $28 billion worth of sales, and $3.2 billion of that came by way of export to over 100 countries. The major markets for their exports included Central America, the EU, and China. Considering Brazil Foods wants to expand globally, they should look up to the leader in that space and determine how they're able to get to a similar position as them.
Now, looking at question number 3, whether or not this merger between the two companies in Brazil is actually good for the Brazilian people. This question is way more complex than simply a yes or no, because the merger's effects are different for different stakeholders, which is why looking at this slide, I've taken and breaking it down between a couple of the key stakeholders. So first, looking at the local grocery stores, the answer to this question might be no, just because the stores could face higher costs if the merger drives up industry prices through over-domination, and therefore can make it harder for the smaller businesses to even compete. As for the employees of the two companies, some employees might lose their jobs because of the consolidation in operations, but others could even find new roles and promotions with growth opportunities with the larger company, BRF, as it expands its market presence both domestically and internationally. Then looking at the company's stakeholders, including investors and owners, they're probably going to benefit from the merger, as it often leads to an increased efficiency and profitability, meaning that BRF can reduce costs and enhance its market position. Finally, for the general Brazilian public, the merger can be good for some and bad for others, because though consumers might enjoy lower prices and greater variety of products, as it competes more aggressively in the market, there are also concerns that reduced competition could eventually lead to higher prices and fewer choices. Therefore, the merger's impact isn't as straightforward as a yes or no, and it varies across the different stakeholders.
To enhance the company's market position and operational efficiency, there are a few strategic actions that can be taken. The first is with regard to rationalizing domestic operations. This can be done by improving efficiency through reducing costs and improving productivity. Costs can be reduced through the optimization of internal processes and the adoption of cost-effective resources. By regularly assessing progress and adjusting strategies to suit the needs of the company, Brazil Foods can increase resource optimization, leading to more profitability. Additionally, Brazil Foods can expand their export markets. One way to do so is by targeting new markets such as that of North America. Furthermore, the company can also consider selling to wholesalers and distributors. This will allow them to leverage bulk purchases and achieve a wider market reach. In short, by concentrating on the rationalization of domestic operations and carefully expanding into new export markets, Brazil Foods can significantly enhance its efficiency and global presence.